Hey, what's up? This is Pat, and in this video we're going to talk about how to know if your lyrics are good enough. So a lot of people wonder if their writing is good enough. They wonder how to know if their writing is ready to share with the world. Is it ready to share with your friends? Is it ready to record? Is it ready to share online? Is it ready to make music videos? And this video will hopefully give you some clarity on how to know if your writing is good enough. When I first started rapping and I started writing songs, I started with writing raps and I would never share it because I just had no confidence that my writing was good enough. I would just write in a notebook and I'd pass a notebook back and forth with a girl that I liked. She would write me raps and I would write her raps. And that was a great practice for me to get better at writing raps, but I wasn't getting confident at my flow and delivery and my confidence in performing because I didn't really think my raps were good enough. And so I wasn't sharing what I had written in recordings or performances. Then I learned a method for how to freestyle rap, and freestyle rapping kind of helped me get in the flow and lyrics started flowing to me more. But it wasn't until I got into college when I heard a talk by Sal Williams, who is a famous slam poet. And I've always been into poetry, but I didn't really know how to translate that into really poetic raps that I was proud of. So I went to see Sal Williams with some friends in college, and he gave a talk. He read some of his poetry and then he did a Q&A at the end. And one of the members of the audience asked him, "Hey Sal, how do you know if your writing is good enough? How do you know if it's good enough to put it in books, or how do you know if it's good enough to record?" And Sal Williams said something very interesting. He's like, "First, I don't look for my writing to be good. I look for my writing to be great." And the way he knows it's great is if he feels like someone else outside of him wrote it. And this was very interesting to me because a lot of people talk about creativity where energy is flowing from outside of the artist, like Beethoven, where they feel like they're just kind of like a vessel, and the lyrics and melodies and rhythms are kind of flowing to them from somewhere outside of them. And this may seem kind of esoteric, but when you start to be more creative and start to get in a creative flow by following, correct practices, then this kind of stuff can start to happen to you. So what I realized that my two big problems was I was focused on the wrong thing. I was focused on getting my writings to be good enough, when really I should have been focusing on how to make my writings great. And the way to know that my writing is great is when I feel like it's coming from somewhere outside of myself. When I feel like, man, I couldn't have written that. That's the big thing, where I'm going back and reading my raps and I feel like, dang, I couldn't have written that. And the second big problem that I was going through, and a lot of people go through, is letting judgments get in the way of my creative flow. Letting my judgments of judging things as bad or good or just not good enough, that was getting in the way of me getting into a creative flow where the great stuff can happen, where the creative energy could flow through me. And so the solution is, if you're having trouble with your writing, not knowing if it's good enough, what you first want to look for is not if it's good, you want your writing to be great. And the way that you know that it's great is if you feel like it's coming from somewhere outside yourself. And if you don't know how to kind of access that creative energy, the best way to start getting in a flow and having that energy flow through you is by learning how to freestyle in the right way. A lot of people teach freestyling in a way that kind of doesn't help creative flow, or they teach it in a way where you think of lines beforehand, or you come to a freestyle cipher with already pre-written lines. And this is a way that's not going to really help you get into that creative flow. I teach a method that's kind of like a blackout method of teaching freestyling, where your mind almost blacks out and words are just always coming to you, coming to a flow. And you start to really have that experience of words coming through you instead of you having to pre-think and plan out what you're going to say. Words just kind of spontaneously come through you when you learn to freestyle in the right way, so that you don't have to have pre-written lines or worry line by line what you're going to say. When you kind of use this kind of blackout method, I call it the limitless flow method, then words kind of naturally flow to you and you start to have that experience of being influenced by the beat, influenced by your energy, influenced by your emotions, influenced by your surroundings, and lyrics start to easily flow through you. And a lot of students went from just wanting to learn how to freestyle for fun, and then after learning to freestyle in this method, started writing songs and started streaming lyrics a lot easier for their songs and for the freestyles. All right, so the moral of the story, if you want to learn how to easily make great lyrics, you have to be open to energies and creative energies flowing through you. And if that sounds crazy, that's something that's very common that happens when you learn how to freestyle in the right way. When you learn how to have a natural freestyle, you go through that blackout method, the limitless flow method, and then words will start naturally flowing to you in an easy way where you don't even really have to think about it beforehand. It just kind of happens. It happens spontaneously. It's like when Einstein got his great ideas, they just kind of snapped. It went to him when Benjamin Franklin invented the light bulb. He tried a lot of different things, but then eventually, they had this light bulb moment. He just figured it out. So a lot of people, when they talk about creative things, it just feels very spontaneous. And you can learn how to activate that spontaneous creative flow anytime you want by going through my Limitless Flow method. Click the link on the description. It'll take you to a video that will give you 3 tips to help you start getting into a creative flow so that you can easily flow your own lyrics, freestyle, and write songs, and so that you start to have that experience of like, wow, I don't know where this came from. This feels like it came from outside of myself, and it's great. And then you're not wondering if it's good enough. You feel like, wow, this is great. I wouldn't have ever been able to write this normally if I was just thinking and tried to plan things out. I don't normally speak like this, but it was great. So once I learned this, once I learned how to freestyle with this method, and once I heard this Sal Williams speech, I started writing and I started paying attention to my lyrics, and all of a sudden I wrote this first line to a verse that kind of blew me away. And it was about a girl who lived 2 floors above me in my dorms, and I had a huge crush on her. I felt super in love with her. I thought she was like awesome. I thought she was beautiful, and I wanted to be with her, but I had no game and I didn't know how to approach her. I didn't know how to go about it. And so I came up with this line: she's 2 levels above me and I need the exercise. And the story is all about how I told her that I liked her and she kind of rejected me. So that's what the story is about. And it's a song called Exercise. I think it's on my YouTube channel. It's one of the first songs I ever wrote. I wrote it when I was 18. It's called Exercise. And the line is, she's 2 levels above me and I need the exercise. So I love that line because it kind of has these double meanings. Like, she's literally 2 floors up above me, but maybe spiritually, maybe emotionally, maybe she just feels like on a pedestal. She's also 2 levels up above me like that. And I need the exercise, like, literally and figuratively. I need the exercise. I need to climb up the stairs to go see her, but I'm also very scared. My heart is scared to put myself in that situation. So I need the exercise to strengthen my heart and go out of my comfort zone so that maybe I could get what I want. And I ultimately didn't get what I want. I'll spoil the story. I didn't get what I want. She rejected me because I had no experience. I didn't know what I was doing, and I think I probably creeped her out. So anyway, I hope you start getting these kind of experiences where you feel like lyrics are flowing to you out of nowhere. Let me know if you've already had those kind of experiences where you feel like, man, I couldn't have written that. Because once you're able to get into this creative flow, you feel like the beat is telling you what kind of lyrics to spit. You feel like the air is telling you what kind of lyrics to spit. And freestyling will help you. It'll help you be a lot more vulnerable, a lot more open to the beat, so energies can start flowing to you, so your emotions can start flowing through you, and it'll help you get out of your head and stop judging everything, because when you're judging everything, that is gonna block the creative flow. So check the link below, watch the video on that, and it'll give you 3 tips to help prepare your mind to start getting into a creative flow so that freestyling becomes very natural and easy, and you start to easily flow lyrics for your freestyles and your songs so that you can feel confident in the songs that you record and you share with your friends. So thanks for watching that video. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't. Like this video. I'm trying to give as much helpful information as I can to help you guys easily get into this kind of blackout mind state where awesome lyrics just come to you all the time. So I hope these tips help, and yeah, definitely subscribe for more. All right, thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.